Hey guys, it's Didi from TechJudge, and this is my list of the top 5 Android games of September 2015. Starting off, Framed is a noir comic-style puzzle game by Love Shack Entertainment, which has been ported to Android by Noodle Cake Games. It recently cleared 1 million units on iOS since its release last year, and Android gamers finally get their hands on this multi-award-winning masterpiece. Framed takes place in a motion comic book with a silhouetted protagonist on the run, moving from panel to panel till he is either captured, killed, or escapes unharmed. You, the player, decides what happens next by rearranging the panels, either by dragging or rotating them, and then hitting play and watching your character make his way through all the chaos. With some trial and error, you will finally get the sequence right and advance to the next trip. Failures aren't that frustrating thanks to the fluid animations. The jazz soundtrack is really catchy and fits well with the cool art style and action. Even though it is a simple concept, Frame doesn't feel too repetitive, switching things around and twisting the outcomes. My only real gripe with this game though is the length. They could have made it a tad longer. You can get Framed for around 150 Indian rupees with no in-app purchases, which is amazing. I have never seen a game quite like this, and I highly recommend it to you guys. Next up is another puzzle game, this time by seasoned developer Square Enix's Montreal studio called Lara Croft Go. The studio is pushing the Go brand quite strongly, and with the success last year of the turn-based puzzler Hitman Go, Lara Croft Go has to meet some high expectations, and thankfully it doesn't disappoint. As soon as you start the game, classic Tomb Raider fans will take a trip down memory lane with the rotating menu icons and choosing Lara's journal to begin or load the adventure. The game consists of 5 different chapters with a total of 75 puzzles needed to be completed in order to finish the game. The first thing you notice when you start off is that Lara is wearing her retro-style blue tank top, brown shorts, boots, and wielding her trusty dual pistols. You start off inside the ruins of an ancient civilization instead of a tabletop-esque environment like Hitman. It all feels visually simple yet appealing with the artful animations and sound, making everything seem constantly in motion even as Lara is standing still while you're thinking of your next move. To navigate around, you swipe in the direction you want Lara to move along a linear path. There aren't any limitations on the number of moves you can make, giving you a lot of freedom. Some of these puzzles can get a little confusing, but you'll get the hang of it after failing a few times. Your main objective in this game is to uncover the myth of the Queen of Venom, which by the looks of it is this huge snake-like thing following you around. Inconveniences come in the form of monsters like snakes, giant spiders, and lizards, who you either outsmart or kill to advance ahead. You can kill these monsters either by attacking from the back or side, as a frontal encounter will kill you, unless you have a torch. Other ways to kill these guys or getting out of a tight situation is by using traps found inside the ruins, like cracked platforms that crumble, pressure plates, etc. Some of these levels can get really frustrating if you don't think ahead, as you respawn at the start of the level whenever you die, encouraging players to concentrate rather than some mindless fast-paced action. As you advance ahead, it gets tougher with the introduction of buzzsaws, movable pillars, and boulders that you can also use to kill enemies. Replayability comes in the form of relics and gems, which you collect from urns that are cleverly placed in every level. It's not such a huge deal if you don't manage to collect them all in your first run, as they are relevant only to unlock additional costumes for Lara, and not some fancy guns that you can use. Even though the game costs about 413 rupees, there are still some in-app purchases which aren't by any means necessary and should not have been an option in the first place. You can purchase a costume pack or solutions to every puzzle, okay? To sum it up, Lara Croft Go is a good game with a beautiful and elegant design, and can turn into a successful series for this franchise. Give it a go and I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy it. The next game we are going to have a look at is Flats by Foliage Games. It is an interesting take on the FPS genre, and the reason for the game's name is due to everything from the main menu to the gameplay having flat colored artwork. No shadows, no fancy textures, nothing, along with a simplistic soundtrack. Don't be fooled by its colors, it is by no means some simple and joyful game for kids. Rather, it is a straight-up first-person shooter which requires lots of finger precision and quick reflexes to keep yourself alive. There are both single-player and multiplayer modes available to choose from. You can play a simple tutorial which gives you a basic hang of things, after which you can play the straightforward single-player mode where you're running around shooting swarms of enemies spread across the map. Eventually, the sheer amount of enemies shooting you with paintball-esque guns will get out of control and you will die. But your aim is to stay alive for as long as possible and accumulate points while doing that. Multiplayer features 5 different game modes: Deathmatch, Team Deathmatch, Territories, Capture the Flag, and Blow Up the Base. The names are pretty self-explanatory, and queue times are pretty quick. You can swipe on the screen to swap into either mode at any time, and I feel that's pretty cool. In case you're not in the mood to wait for players for too long, there's also an option of playing single player as the room is filling up. Flats is a fun free game, but it's not for everyone. Some of you might not enjoy the bright colors and mediocre controls. Also, there isn't any native controller support yet, but the developer has promised it along with smoother movement in the upcoming updates. There are some ads that play from time to time, which is really frustrating, but there's an option of paying a small fee of about 110 rupees to get rid of them. Try Flats out, it kills time really well. If you're into arcade games with amazing 2D pixel art and retro sounds, this next game will be of interest to you. It's called Blitzcrank's Poro Round Up and is developed by Riot Games, creators of MOBA powerhouse League of Legends. Even though Blitzcrank's Poro Round Up is being advertised as a side-scrolling mini-game as a part of Riot's arcade event, it's a lot more than that. It features a champion from League of Legends called Blitzcrank, who's a steampunk golem with a heart of gold from the fictional city of Zorn, who's sitting around with a bunch of fluffy critters known as Poros, when suddenly a huge monster known as Baron Nashor rushes towards the Poro to gobble it up. Blitzcrank manages to grab the Poro just in time with his extendable arm and instructs the rest of them to run away before their dead meat. Okay, so you play Blitzcrank, who's running away with the Poros in levels inspired by maps and cities of League, like Bandle City, Summoner's Rift, etc. And your aim is to grab all the Poros and safely store them in your robotic belly while earning coins in the process. The controls are really simple. Tap on the top or bottom of the left side of the screen to navigate, and tap anywhere else on the screen to grab. It isn't as easy as it sounds though. There are different types of Poros who not only have traits like poison to slow you down temporarily, or ice to break it to successfully make a grab, but they also run at different speeds. Bumping into the Poros will make them run faster, temporarily giving you some time to make the grabs. Occasionally, a grab Poro will drop a power-up for you, which does things like teleports the Poros forward or speeds them up. Eventually, after saving enough Poros, you come across the level's bosses, who are champions from League of Legends like Jinx, Lulu, Lissandra, Veigar, etc. They say their actual dialogues and use abilities from League to stun and slow you down, which is really cool for fans. Defeating these bosses gives you a lot of coins which you can use later to purchase things like alternative skins, items from League which come in the form of power-ups like reduction of crowd control or increasing your grab range. There are other playable characters like Thresh and Nautilus who you unlock after finishing story modes with different characters. There's also an infinite mode that unlocks once you finish the story mode with a plethora of achievements. While fans will appreciate this game, even people who've never played or heard of League of Legends can pick it up and have a fun time, with a little something for everyone. The only real con is that Blitzcrank's Poro Round Up is available for download only till September 21st, after which it will be pulled from the app stores, but I'm sure people have already created mirrors of the installer and game data which you can find by doing a simple Google search. Like I said earlier, this is more than just an arcade game which is absolutely free with zero in-app purchases, and I hope Riot releases more mobile games in the future as they've done a great job with this one. Righto, please. Next comes a puzzle game, this time by American developers Apathy Works, called Cute Things Dying Violently. It came out a few years ago on Xbox Live Indie Games and has finally released on Steam and mobile platforms with improved graphics, new levels, objects and rebalanced gameplay. The main objective of this game is to get these cute little critter-like things to safety by launching them cleverly into elevators placed in levels, making sure they don't get electrocuted by current, burnt by fire, sliced in half by buzz saws, or impaled by spikes in the process. You might need the help of objects such as boxes and springs while doing so. While you'd like to save all of them, sometimes you have to sacrifice one or more to save the rest. And as long as you manage to save at least one, you'll advance to the next level. The game features 48 single-player levels and the developer plans on releasing new levels on a weekly basis. What's really cool though is that there's a built-in level editor for you to mess around with and create your own mind-bending levels. Gameplay is addictive. It gets increasingly tougher as you progress ahead, and you will see these adorable creatures die a horrific death if you don't get the sequence right, which is super fun to watch with all the blood splattering around. There's also a murderous bucket-headed robot that you face from time to time. Yeah, it's quite gory, so don't hand it over to small kids unless you want them to have nightmares. The controls sorta remind you of Angry Birds and are quite easy to get a hang of. Graphics have a cartoony hand-drawn feel to them, which is nice, and the sound is just about alright for this type of game. Cute Things Dying Violently costs about 62 rupees and is awesome value for money as it has no in-app purchases whatsoever. For those who purchase the game on Steam for about 200 rupees, you will also get the Android copy for free. Don't think twice and just buy this game, you will not regret it.